Hey, what up everyone? Welcome to another Northgard video on this channel. Today with another patch note review, and how you might already half see, it's gonna be about the balancing patch 6 that just got released in March 2021. Pretty huge patch right here, so yeah, we're gonna try to have a little bit higher pace than we have in the other patch note reviews, because we're gonna need to go through all of this right here. Yeah, I'm gonna do timestamps in the video. Maybe they're not gonna be there right after I release it, but I'm gonna try to get them out as soon as possible, so you can just skip to the part that you are most interested in, because we definitely have a lot to go through. So because of that, let's not talk around too long and just jump right in it, I guess. Yeah, today, hello Vikings. Today we are releasing a huge, possibly even our biggest yet balanced patch that will bring widespread changes to Northgard and all of the formidable clans that inhabit it. We have made a number of massive changes across the board, introducing new ways to approach the game and manage your people as you strive for conquest, and you can see the whole list of what's new below. And yeah, we're gonna go right over that. We're gonna start in with the military changes here. So as first, the Guardian military path got changed a little bit. The Guardian military path is still considered to be too weak. That were definitely the case. And as the vast majority of players usually choose between Tactician and Conqueror, it has been buffed. The militia behavior, you can now control them actually, so you can micro the militia. The militia can still not leave your territory, and it cannot be assigned to any other role, because that would be a little bit overpowered if you could just reassign them back to villagers and basically take bonus villages of them. The militia respawn frequency has been increased, and the maximum of militia is back to 2, 4, and 6, how it were before. It could get a little bit more valuable right now, especially in free-for-alls, because I like being able to micro the militia there. Not sure if the Guardian tree is yet strong enough to really compete with the Tactician and also Conqueror tree. It definitely now gets a better shot though, but mostly Northgard is about attacking, and like, you want to be attacking if you plan on winning the game. So I'm not 100% sure if it's gonna be fully played right now, but it's definitely a lot stronger than before, and I can imagine it being taken in maybe duels, but I don't understand a lot about duels, honestly. Or maybe free-for-alls could help out there. But time will tell. Let's see, maybe I'm also completely wrong, and it's one of the strongest trees right now. I still really like the Tactician tree though, and Bloodbath is also really strong, so we'll see. Suppressing fire will also reduce the watchtower upkeep, so the defense tower, by 50%, which is considerable. You can build a lot more towers without being too hurt in your eco. Definitely also a change that could make it more valuable right there. We go to the warband general changes. The objective here is to give more space to other military units and give more value to warband upgrading. So warrior recruitment costs 30 crowns now instead of 20, and every new warrior that you then get costs plus 6 crowns. The watchtower building costs 50 wood, and the upgrade remains unchanged. So yeah, the watchtower is a little bit cheaper there. It should slow down the game a little bit, because yeah, you now need a little bit longer to get a bigger army up, but it definitely also gives a little bit more space to X-Throws and everything. It just remains to be seen if X-Throws are actually now back in the meta. Like, I definitely got destroyed already by a mass of X-Throwers in one game. But it remains to be seen if you can counterplay that a little bit harder. Maybe you will see more shields. That would be really nice to have a little bit more of a variety in military units, because just right now we're more or less the only warrior meta if you like weren't playing dragon or something. So yeah, I think the change is not too bad, while it will slow down the game a little bit, but there are also other things that might make it also a little bit quicker. So I don't know if you know, but I usually like to game the game speed that we had before, like around 802 or something, to have some action, because I think 803 action is generally a little bit too late. Like, I don't like the game being so slow. I rather want my actionators too, but I don't think that is completely gone just because of this change. Like, there are gonna be a lot of other changes, and I feel like we're gonna end up at basically the same spot, and it might just achieve what they wanted to achieve, to give access a little bit more value, and shield bearers also. Skirmishers, I think, also got a little bit more expensive, but we're gonna go about that later because they would be completely overpowered, of course, if they would have the old price. So, supply models also changed. So the values changed to -5% attack power and defense penalty for each zone away from your territory beyond the first. Models is lowered for 2 by 2 for each year passed since the beginning of the game. So, before, I think if you were 2 tiles out of your main zone, like 2 tiles away, it were a 5% debuff. And I definitely know that when you were more than 4 tiles out of your territory, it went to like 30%. So it could be a nerf, but it's some kind also a buff for early attacks. The malus lowering for 2 by each year is definitely significant. So I think it might actually... It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Like, it's really situational if it's gonna be a nerf or a buff. I think it's a lot easier to understand though, so I definitely like this change, because before you already see like the middle step, there were some step where you only like in between the 4 and 2, I think it were like it were more than 4, right? It were like 15%. You see, it's pretty confusing, and right now I think it's a little bit more straightforward, so you could actually explain it to a new player, so he could actually understand what's going on there. So in general, I guess a good change there. So, Monster Slayer gives 30% attack power versus mythical creatures. This needed to be nerfed because Dragonkins are now considered mythical creatures. So if you have a really strong dragon player in the other team and you kind of want to counter him out, you would go for Monster Slayer now with one of your team's players, and he would try to focus down the Dragonkins. What he should be able to do then pretty effectively, because 30% is still really strong. So yeah, we'll see how it actually plays out. I didn't have the chance to try it yet, but I think it's gonna be pretty devastating for dragon players still with the 30%. But maybe still playable for the dragon here. I hope so, because definitely a cool clan, and sadly doesn't have any other options. It needs to go for the dragonkin there. So let's see. The villager stats also changed from 4 resistance to 3, and this is actually pretty huge, because the lower the resistance is, the more of a difference makes it. Like, if you have only 1 resistance and you would get 2, this would be a huge buff and not closely as much like if you would already have 10 resistance and you get 11. So the smaller the numbers are, the bigger is the difference there, because it rises exponentially, counter exponentially, right? Believe me when I say it's pretty significant, and it's gonna change up how villagers are going to be able to defend against warriors, especially also in the early game. So pretty interesting change here. Maybe one of the reasons why the game doesn't slow down all too much, because of the changes to the warrior recruitment and everything, because villagers are now way worse on defending, so you need to actually have army to do that. And don't think that's too bad, actually. Yeah, next thing, gonna be the neutral faction changes. First, we got a new neutral faction. It is another giant faction. The Jotun neutral faction has always appeared a little too binary for us. With these changes, we're trying to add a bit more depth to the trading with giants. Players will now have the possibility to trade with 2 Jotun factions, the Skrymir and the Fjolsvin. I read that right, definitely. Each of those factions can be befriended and grant the players a giant hero, Lurk or Jafnadar. The Skrymir and the Fjolsvin are rivals. Each player can only trade with one of the 2 factions, and befriending one will unlock the possibility to trade with the other. Okay. Oh, that's actually cool. So you can possibly get 2? Do I understand that right? I think you can possibly get 2. You first need to befriend the first one, then you can befriend the other one, right? very important is though, like when befriending a faction, you don't colonize the zone anymore. That were not what I mean. That's not below word what I mean. You can still trade with the befriended faction, what is super valuable for clans like Boar that like went all in on the giant trade. Then you got the giant and here you go. Your gold eco is completely dead. So also your happiness would drop down to nothing because you get so much happiness out of battering and we're just gone now. I think it's pretty cool that you can now keep on trading with the giants. You will get the giant to fight, but your gold eco won't completely collapse and also your happiness won't just break together and you have no villagers anymore. Pretty cool. Like the change right there, and well, I think it's gonna be definitely a significant buff to all clans that like to trade with the giants. Well, I think it's in general, I don't read it here, but I think it got a little bit slower in general. So be ready for that. I think you need a little bit longer to befriend them, but since it's not written in here, I might have understood that wrong, but I think it's actually the case. So don't nail me onto it. If you found it out, maybe just leave it down below in the comments because I would really be interested to know how it changed now. I think it got a little slower though. So here we see the new hero giants. We got Jafnaude, the powerful champion of Jotunheim's workers, here to help you to overthrow the lords who have inherited the land. Seize the means of wool production. So definitely a fan of the Goat Clan there. I think this is basically the giant we had before, right? I think this is more or less the giant we had before, but he has a name now. Then we have Lurk, the dreaded judicator of Jotunheim, supreme enforcer of the Lord's inherited authority and defender of private property. I am the Lord! Don't touch my property! Looks pretty cool, honestly. I can't wait to get this one in game because I think I know this one pretty good already. I'm pretty sure that's the one we know already. But now we got one with axes and broken off horror. And I like the beard style. I like the one-liner, definitely one I can stand behind. But the double liner is definitely like he's just flexing on him. Definitely must be stronger than him. Well, I think like the stats will pretty much be the same, right? UI Giant Faction Village. When clicking on a Jotun camp, players will now see the relation progress of every other player, and that is what I saw before already. So that will definitely make it way harder to get the giants there, because they're definitely still able to kill them. Especially in team games, you will then oftentimes see players just killing the giants before you get them. That's life. That's how it happens sometimes. But maybe they also have a Boar in the other team that really needs the giants, so you can't kill them. Because I definitely saw maps where only one of the factions spawn. Like, I thought that always when a Jotun spawns, now you will have both of the factions on the map, but sometimes there will only be one. So if your Boar has all his eco on trading with the Jotun, you might even say, let's not kill it, just give him the giant, but my eco will still be up, so we can maybe still have a chance in this game. And like, the giant is really cool and all, but I don't know if he actually decides the whole game alone. So interesting. But if you don't have a Boar or anyone who actually trades with the giants, you will definitely now have way more information how far the other one is, and then maybe actually kill the giant there. Could be interesting. So, new friendship rules with neutral. The needed value to befriend neutral factions is scaled on team size. Fruit requirement will be lower in FFA than in team games. That's what I mean. There will definitely a change in there. You can still comment down below if you know how much it actually is, but it definitely got a little bit higher than it were before. So, clans balance changes. There's a lot. So let's dive right into it. There's even a bigger change afterwards though, but this is already a huge one with the clan of the Lynx right here. Rework. The war chief recruitment cost is now at 150 crowns, so you will need a lot longer to get the old woman right there. The both Lynx move speed has been reduced by 15%. So looking only at these two changes, you might have the feeling that the Lynx clan isn't actually that strong anymore. Because a lot more into the micro of the Lynx and of the cats basically, and getting the woman out pretty early. I think I said I'm just gonna call her grandma, right? Yeah. Getting the grandma pretty early, then healing the cats, clearing out a lot, and being able to be really aggressive at the start of the game. And then it basically falls off from there pretty steeply, and you're not gonna have a big chance anymore. That get a little change right now. Pretty interesting changes here for the Lynx Clan. So let's just go on. Arrows don't cost wood anymore, so you don't need a huge wood stock anymore if you want to use one of the special arrows your trackers could get. Trackers now defend themselves in close combat as previously intended, so they're not gonna run around anymore. Basically, the only comparison that I know is like skirmishes in Age of Empires. Like if they have somebody right in front of them, they always need to go a little bit back, and if they have a melee unit in front of them, like they basically get kited by a melee unit, if you know what I mean. Definitely weird, doesn't happen anymore. They're now just gonna straight up defend themselves. I don't know if they still shoot arrows then. I wouldn't say so, because like if you have like a double arrow or something, I think he's not gonna shoot a double arrow then. He's just gonna hit the one with the bow, you know? Like getting a bow in the face. That's gonna be quite nice, I guess. In general, I think it's still a very good change though, even though he's not gonna shoot an arrow then anymore. It's way better than completely getting destroyed by warriors, because you're always running back as soon as he's too close to you. Yeah, in close combat, no longer profit from special arrows advantages like I thought, and the attack got turned down to 10. So, also a little change there, but having them defend themselves now properly when they get attacked, like this is completely gonna negate a little bit of attack change right there. So they're now gonna have just as much attack as a warrior right there as a ranged unit. So axe throwers are still quite a bit stronger on paper. We're gonna go out here. Trophies and mythical beast waves. Sacred ram, sacred wolves, and sacred bears stats have changed. Don't know how, but they changed. Spectral animals now have the same stats than sacred animals. Okay. So the sacred ram now has, there we go, has 37 HP. 5 attack and 5 resistance. You will get 5 military XP from it, you get 5 hunting trophies, and you get 30 meat. Yum yum. The Sacred Wolf has now 50 health, 11 attack, stronger than a warrior. Whoa, okay. 2.5 resistance, so not really resistance. 2.5 is ultra low. I think one of the lowest, it is the lowest resistance in game, right? Villagers now have 3. It is so low. It gives you 15 military experience, 15 hunting trophies, and 15 meat. The Sacred Bear. 62 health points. With 10 attack, just as strong as a warrior. I think that were just as it were before. And 13 defense. I think the health pool changed the most, right? Weren't it like 80 or something? We're comparable to a War Chief. Maybe I'm having wrong. I think the rest is pretty even. Military experience, you will get 50, you will get 50 hunting trophies, and you get 80 meat, what is a lot less than 120. I asked the mathematician, he said I'm right with that. 80 is definitely less than 120. Waves increment is changed. Waves come now every 3 months. I think this is pretty good. I always felt a little bit overwhelmed trying to heal up my my trackers, my cats, and my grandma. And now I feel like it's gonna be a lot easier. Like the best thing I usually did were building a tower on the tower, having the cats tank most of the damage, and then heal the cats up with the citrization or something like the hunting trophy ability you would get from them, and then try to get as much damage on them, because just having the grandma and the cats in the same tile doesn't cost you any villagers, so you didn't really need to get healers there. So as long as I could get damage on the cats, I would try to take it. And now I have a little bit more time to actually make that happen. I think this can be quite a game changer there. Sacred Wolves and Sacred Bears don't have special attacks anymore. Oh, thank God, man. Like the Sacred Bear attack that were, they were savage, man. They were really savage. Yeah, Relic. Placing Graplius in a zone in combat is not longer possible. I think that's pretty true. You didn't see the Relic that often, but the Relic were strong, man. The Relic for Lynx were actually super strong. I didn't take it on stream once, I think, because you needed to play a pretty slow Lynx for that, and slow Lynx weren't really a thing before, so I think now you're gonna see it a little bit more often. And yeah, this is a really needed buff because nerf, because it would have been so insanely strong. But I just try it out. It's a really good relic right there. And you can now put one trap each year. Not 100% sure how often it were before. Please tell me in the comments below, because I have no clue. Conquest. First bonus, Town Hall Zone starts with deers. And does 10% per Dutch. Yeah, interesting. Second bonus, archery range gives +3 max military pop instead of +2, and trackers are 10 crowns cheaper. Only counts for conquest, right? Seems very much like conquest bonuses. It says conquest, so I think these are bonuses that are only available on conquest. Third bonus, no change. Oskeria calls the 2 last waves. Not only the last one. Ooh, oh yeah, that's pretty good. Can definitely overrun somebody with that. So with 200 fame, you now unlock Sacred Lure ability for Mileki. Once placed, it periodically attracts mythical beasts to the zone as more and more time passes. This is unchanged, isn't it? Cost piece reduction by 5%. I think it gets lowered up to 50 for each animal kill. Up to 50%, right? Not 50 feet. I'm pretty sure up to 50% for each enemy kill. I don't know if the Lynx is gonna be the one who is actually doing the feast though. But maybe I'm getting something wrong there. We'll see. Sounds pretty good. I think it also pretty much the same as before, but we're a lower number, right? We're like 2%? 2% or something? Correct me if I'm wrong. We have a new hunting board. There are now 3 different hunting paths. The hunt trophy path completed can be chosen multiple times while one path is complete. Special arrows effects can now stack. We have somebody getting a lot of water above me right now. I hope you can't hear it, but I'm pretty sure you can because it's ultra loud. Trophy costs unlock have changed. It costs a different price now to unlock trophies. I get it. Just were a little bit overwhelmed right there. So we have the Way of the Cunning, the upper tree, I would say. We have Sharp Eye, Bundra and Kaelin, Scout and Use Camouflage, unchanged. Nature Takeover, decolonization speed plus 10% if Mileki is in the zone. Same for Bundra and Kaelin. Okay. Does it stack? I don't think so. How it reads, it doesn't stack. Like 30% would already be almost, how's it called now? Invader for the wolf. The old Conqueror. I think it's gonna be, it could be pretty strong if it stacks. If not, not insignificant, because you can then take a zone quicker than your opponent would think. Like oftentimes the towers takes exactly 1 month. Taking a zone takes exactly 1 month, so it could stop a few towers from going up. It could be a pretty significant change. I don't know how. Well, if it stacks, it's super strong, but we'll see. We have fire arrows. Fire arrows do plus 50% damage to watchtowers. Target unit has a 30% chance to burn. And I think that's gonna be a dot then, like, right? Damage over time that you will get out. Hurt is pretty strong. Can't wait to actually try it out, to be honest. Carrying siblings. Bundra and Kaelin slowly regenerate when they are together in allied territory. Nice. So you don't need the grandma anymore. Bundra plus 30% attack if it's with Kaelin. I like it. Seems pretty good. The Great Hunt. Get trophies on all mystical creatures. Oh, okay. Also for Valkyries, Dogger. So you don't steal all the wolves from your wolf anymore, and bears. So that seems pretty good. The Wild Hunter. Military units don't suffer supply malus nor winter attack power penalty. Holy moly! I think it's pretty deep into the tree, but this can be game changer if you go for a really aggressive build. Like, can just attack an 800 winter to get no malus. Insane. I don't know if you can get enough hunting trophies to get it that quick, but just in theory, insane. We'll see. Wave to nature. Sibling rivalry. Bundr and Kellin produce food in territory. Okay. Kellin gets plus 30% defense if it's with Bundr. Okay. The carrying siblings, sibling rivalry. Definitely all pretty strong. Interesting. We'll see. It really depends how much food it is, so I can't really say how good or bad it is. Like, if it's plus 5 food, well, really good. If it's plus 1 food. The wise one. Mileki produces plus 3 lore outside of combat in your territory. That's pretty good. It's almost a Lawmaster, right? Lawmaster's plus 4? Lawmaster plus 3? I don't know. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Plus 3 lore. We take that. Trackers fire 2 arrows with 30 damage per shot. For the second, it's double shot. Forgot to read the name of that. So pretty much unchanged, I guess. It doesn't cost wood anymore for all of the arrows. Like, also for the fire arrow, which is also a pretty big game changer, because having all this wood is pretty hard. So could be used a lot more right now. And path completed. Trackers get plus 5 attack speed, plus 5% range, and plus 5% move speed. Can be bought many times, many times. The problem were just usually you don't really get enough hunting trophies to actually fill up the whole tree, so you can buy and buy and buy it. I never really had the chance to do that. Maybe you could do that in free for all, but Lynx never really seemed to be the free for all clan for me, so gotta say, never really tried it out too harsh. Maybe right now, maybe especially with the Great Hunt now getting trophies for mystical creatures too. On all mystical creatures. Yeah, could be possible. I don't know. So, new text. The spoils of plenty. Your war chief can put 2 standard lures in a zone to attract savage deer. That gives 10% food. Plus 10% food. That's okay. You can assign 2 hunters to a standard lure. Yeah, that's what I knew about before. The hunter's tool is free and 50% forging time. So if you have a lure now, you can put hunters in the zone, what can be pretty interesting. Like I said before, you put the tower in there, you let the animals attack. You can then have your cats tank a little bit of the damage so the tower doesn't get down, and you might have a few trackers in the zone to kill them down, and you have the hunters in there. So yeah, they can also defend, plus they can also just hunt. Pretty good, I guess. Archery mastery. Replaces fur coats. I guess you have this now? Where is it? There we go. Wild Hunter. Dude! It's fur coats, you know? Your first tracker is always free. Holy moly. It's wolf. Get wolf, basically. Upgrade cost for archery range minus 50%. How many of those do you actually upgrade? I don't know. Might get a little bit more of a thing right now. Poaching, you give plus 15% merchant production. I think it was... Is that unchanged? Or were that 10%? I'm not sure. Comments again. I think it were... It's unchanged, honestly. Other than that, hunting trophies can be sold on the market for crowns, allows trading routes. I think it's unchanged. Not sure. Nimble Paws. Lynx max health increased by 35%. Dodge 30% of the attacks. Yeah, that's definitely pretty strong. Still. Really strong lore right there. I think with new text, any new lores, right? These are all lores, so pretty sure these are all lores. pretty late to think about that, but yeah, that must be lores. Obviously, these are lores. It's like per codes and everything. So text equals lores. Just if somebody were confused before. The Wild Hunt now gives not +1 mythical lure. You get plus 20% attack on spirits. Pretty good. Like if you, I forgot how it's called now. We're one up here. Where do we have it? How's it called again? If you call all the Saki, Oscaria. If you do Oscaria and like basically get the last wave, if you got the lore right here, like the last 2 waves of your animals that you killed. And these now then have 20% attack power. I'm pretty sure that it means that, because these are basically spirit animals, but they die on time. Like you gotta try it out to really see how it works out. It can be really strong, ultra situational though. We'll see how it plays out. At a mythical lore, Mileki can summon up to 3 special different spectral beasts to defend her. Okay. The number of invocable beasts depends on the mythical waves cleared. Wave 1. +1 spectral ram for 5 trophies. Wave 3. +1 spectral wolf for 20 trophies. Wave 6. +1 spectral bear for 75 trophies. These have a cooldown before they can be summoned again. So they are permanently with you, right? I think they are permanently with you, so this is pretty good. Imagine having 3 bears. Should be possible, right? Should be possible. If I understand it right, it could be a really, really strong change. Now we go into the Clan of the Ox. A little bit of a smaller change right there, but they are big changes to the whole meta, so definitely also going to be hit by that. But here are the change for the Ox Clan, only Ox. Starting bonuses, you have now 15% more attack power and more resistance than all other clans. Your specialized civilian units now have a 40% production bonus again, I think. They had before 30, like just before that. But I think at the start, when Oxclan were released and a little bit too strong, it had 40. Now it's back to that. And you got plus 15% food consumption. You eat more. I think that's only fair. Unstoppable now gives you 5% attack power and defense for each discovered artifact. So you're basically not like you got literally unstoppable after you got a few after you do that a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely a needed change. So you're not actually unstoppable. You're just like stronger, not unstoppable. So Torpin's hitbox a little bit lowered. I think it's just smaller then, right? Like there are no real height levels in Northgard, so I'm pretty sure just the hitbox got a little bit smaller. So not as many, or it's not that easy to hit him, I think. Could be quite interesting. We'll see. Next thing, Clan of the Kraken. It seems to be pretty small for the clans here, but we have most of the clans in here, and there are also like general changes. We'll see. The starting bonus, you get +1 added. I start from the bottom again. Starting bonuses added +1 base word production. So you get a little bit more word in general. Can be helpful. Can be quite okay, I guess. Yeah, should help. Gets you, like, in the end, why wouldn't it help? Obviously, you can now high tide tiles a little bit easier. Maybe even for the ghosts, I don't think it would really help you. It's just +1, but it helps you at the start a little bit to get a maybe high tide in one more zone a little bit earlier than you would usually do it. Fresh fish now replaces colonization. This is super important. Like, it's gonna now be a lot earlier before. And knowledge from beyond gives +2 lore per merchant in the trading post while trading a neutral faction. So you're now able to get +4 lore out of every trading post. Gonna be pretty good. Merchants in the trading post, we're gonna get into that later. That's actually gonna be a general change there. We are at the Clan of the Dragon. Dragon Clan recruit costs a Dragon Kin recruit now costs 40 crowns instead of 50. The incremental cost went a little bit up though, 15 crowns more for every Dragonkin you get there. So the first one's going to be a little bit easier to get. I think even the first 2 or 3 ones. Let me count up. We have 50, 60, 70. My math would say that is 180. Now we have 40, 55, that is 95, and then we have 70. 95% is 165. That is less than 180. Yes, it is. math, guys. It's an adventure. So yeah, it's a little bit cheaper at the start. Later on, it will get a lot more expensive though. So gotta weigh that up. But you're now gonna be able to be a little bit quicker with the Dragon Clan. Well, I don't think is too bad. Dragonkin are considered mythical creatures. They trigger the Monster Slayer ability. We knew about that from before. Their spinning attack triggers more frequently now. So we're back to not that frequent, back to more frequent. I would really like to hear a number about that. But yeah, I think it's needed. Since you now can hard counter the dragon with Monster Slayer and you don't really have an answer to that. Like, you need the Dragokins to matter again. Don't know if they're will get overpowered again. Not really sure. Don't really think so, because we have just Monster Slayer to hard counter. 30% attack is no joke. So yeah, interesting changes right there for the dragon. Next thing, Clan of the Snake. Under pressure, now gets 1 food production. Pretty good. Skirmisher recruitment doesn't cost 15 crowns anymore. Costs 20. Not too bad. Warriors cost 30. I think Snake could be pretty darn good in the meta right now. I'm not 100% sure. Didn't really play it all too much. But just seeing that right here and knowing what the other clans have for changes, Snake Clan might be one of the big boys in the next patch. In team games at least, don't know a lot about duels. Honestly, don't really play a lot of 2v2s either. In free-for-alls, I don't know. Honestly. We were always able to do some shenanigans there, but it's definitely not one of the top tier free-for-all clans. You know, it's just a good clan, and this doesn't help you in free-for-alls. Like under pressure, maybe a bit. Skirmish, you know. Clan of the Boar. Starting bonuses. The player is allowed to colonize zones containing only neutral wolves or bears, at the exception of wolf caverns. Colonization costs plus 20% more in the situation, so you will never clear anymore as Boar. Because in the early game you mostly have problems with wolves, because they attack you. Doggers don't attack you until the 2nd year, late in the 2nd year, maybe even 3rd year. maybe even 3rd year. That's usually when they start attacking. So you don't really care about too much about those. You just want to get the wolves, and if you don't need to get warriors plus to build the camp, you're gonna have more food, so you can just colonize those zones. It's pretty cool, pretty straightforward. Still need help if there is a wolf cave though. Can still colonize it then afterwards. There are no wolves on it. And yeah, that's what I just wanted to say. The wolf-eyed bears colonized in this tile become non-aggressive for you and your allies. They cannot be controlled, but they defend the zone as it is attacked, and then also, of course, give the wolf, for example, if a wolf attacks you, he will get the food for the wolves or the bears that he kills in your territory. Nothing to do against that, just something to keep in mind. Lay of the land. Adds, the player can colonize wolf caverns if it contains only neutral wolves. This closes the cavern as usual. Okay, pretty interesting. So you won't have infinitely respawning wolves if you do that. But Lay of the Land is one of the lures you want to go for most likely anyways, because you want to get battering, you want to get handiwork, so many strong lures on the bottom tree. So having a little bit of a bonus there for Lay of the Land, I think is pretty good. And since it's set at, I don't think that the fish and forest eco bonus is gone. I think it's still there, so that's pretty cool. Mender. While menders are not healing, they produce 1 lure and enough food to feed themselves. Still not like a healer, that would give you food, but it's interesting. Especially if you need to fill a little bit of a lore roll there. I think it could get pretty good. Let's go for the Clan of the Bear. Pretty small change here. The kindred spirit bonus went from 10% back to 15%. The good old bear bonus, you know? You get 200 fame, you get the bear, put it on a tile, get better eco. Team game, you maybe send the bear over to your teammate, put him into a tile, help your teammate. Pretty good bonus, a little bit better now. Don't think the bear actually needed a buff, like the relic might have been debugged. Not 100% sure about that. But bear with the relic still pretty strong. Now got a little bit better eco. I don't dislike having better eco because it's gonna fasten up the game a little bit. So yeah, not a nut fan of it. I don't hate it. I think it's pretty cool, honestly. Small change there. I think everybody got that. Clan of the Raven. Cost of coastal exploration now costs 20 crowns. A little bit more expensive, honestly, as you don't care as Raven. You have so much gold. You can trade with homeland even if coinage isn't unlocked. Okay. That's pretty cool. Makes the fame rush quicker, doesn't it? But commercial influences is not plus 20% anymore, it's plus 10%. Can you still make it happen quicker? Because you just... you need to reach 500, 200 fame. It's hard to say, but I think the trade rush isn't that yet. Gonna try that out, definitely. Now we come to my boy, Clan of the Stag. We have a few lore changes. The swap position between hero emblem and food preservation, I think it's pretty good, because oftentimes you got hero emblem, you built the altar, and you had no fame. Or you got hero emblem and you weren't ready with the fame to then get the altar. So food preservation in that space makes a lot more sense, and oftentimes just gonna get you away for the moment where you just like wait for the resources of the altar. You might already be able to build the silos there, get a little bit of food out of it. One of the strongest lures for the Stag clan. I like it. The value of great deeds. Scout produce now 1.5 crowns and +2 if upgraded. Not exactly how it were before, but it's really strong again. Having 2 scouts gives you happiness, gives you free gold. Pretty good. Definitely pays for the upkeep for the Hall of Scouts. The good thing is with Stag, with value, not value of great deeds, with... Oh my god, I forgot it. Oh my god, I forgot it. Oh, yeah, the lore that gives you more attack for, like, having a lot of happiness. Don't know how I could forget that, because it's like my main clan. But yeah, you know what I mean. So you not only have one reason to get skulls, like you don't have recruitment, so you need skulls anyway, you get more gold. It adds up. Skulls get a little bit more valuable, and I think the no skull builds will go a little bit away. Maybe. Don't think they're useless. I think you can still do them. But skulls get more valuable. Don't dislike it. Clan of the Goat. Relic changes. Gefyun's jar becomes a generic relic. No more additional sheepfold. No more sheep can come with new villages. Eldrumir becomes the goat-specific relics and now allows building an additional sheepfold. Huh. 4 sheepfolds now? Okay. That's a goat buff. That's a goat buff. Jarl bonus, tower and military units get now only 50% defense when feasting. A little bit less. A little bit of a nerf here. But 4 sheepfolds. Nice. Clan of the Wolf. Spoils of War, enemy warriors loot 15 crowns now, not 10 anymore. Spoils of War might get picked a little bit more often then. It's on the same thing, like military strategy, so you know. We'll see if it's actually gonna picked often, but 15 crowns is 50% more than 10 crowns. I spoke with the mathematician again. He said that would be right, so maybe gonna pick it a little bit oftener there. We had threats. Trading bonus with the Berserker in the trading post zone doesn't give you plus 125% bonus anymore. It only gives you 100% bonus. Boo-hoo. I think the general trade change makes Wolf actually a little bit worse at trading. Like this little change, not so much. I think even if it would be 125, it would be too significant there. But yeah, it were really strong. Don't think it were too needed, honestly. But we'll see. Clan of the Horse is already great. True words. True. It's true words. I like it. Keep in mind, most of the clans actually got a little buff here. Most of them. So that's why you're getting a little bit slower by having more to pay for warriors. So maybe also going for X-Throws and everything. They are more expensive, so it could maybe drag the game a little bit longer. You have a lot of effects here that make the clans itself stronger. So I don't think the game is going to be dragged all too long. And we're soon going to be back to an 802 meta. Just with a little bit more variety, not everyone trading. Why? We're going to get into that now with the general changes. The early game routine changed. A huge change, honestly. Each clan starts with plus 50 wood. Woodcutter's Lodge is no longer mandatory to build other buildings except in the campaign. A building becomes great if no Woodcutter's Lodges. A player will have less than 50 woods after building it. So yeah, that didn't work for me, honestly. I wanted to build a mine all the time. I thought the game were broken. I thought I found a bug. And then I read a little red text down below the building when I wanted to build a mine that says, you won't have enough wood to build a woodcutter's lodge afterwards. Basically. Not exactly, but basically. I read the text and I tried to build the mine again. So basically a little bit like, yeah, a safety net for idiots. Didn't work for me. At some point I realized I need to build a woodcutter's lodge also, so I still can produce wood, because if you go below 50 wood, you didn't build a woodcutter's lodge, you are dead. So yeah, thanks for putting that in actually. I don't think it's all too necessary. Usually you deserve to lose if you do that mistake. But I like that they try to not let players fall into it, and it saved me already, so I guess it should also save a few other players that in general, I don't think it's all too needed though. I think it's maybe just a safety net for right now. They're gonna yeah, get it out at some point. But especially if you come as a new player into the game, you don't really fall into that trap, right? It's just frustrating. So I guess that's a little bit of a help there for newer players. To more experienced players, that shouldn't happen anyway. Side of me. Happiness. Brewers, Scouts, and Norse produce plus 25% resources, and their resources happiness, so they produce 25% more happiness. Upgraded Brewery, Horde of Scouts, and Hogur gets plus 20% production bonus for happiness. Fame. And we're not 50 anymore. Ah, no, I get. We were a little bit of a nerf. Therefore, the unupgraded one are a little bit better. Interesting. Problem always? The tax cost, man. It's so much taxes. Brewery, Hall of Scouts, and Hogur now cost 60 woods and 10 crowns. The yearly upkeep has been decreased by 30%. That's Shire saying, got you, fam. That's a lot less. 10 crowns, 60 wood for a Hall of Scouts. Ooh, that's cheap. That's cheap. Upkeep costs a lot lower. Scouts also producing more. I think Stag is gonna be pretty strong next to that. I like it. I play Stag, so I don't have too much against that. The value of happiness now displays with the full decimal value, so you will now actually see if you have like 1.5 happiness or 0.8 or something. It's gonna be a lot more helpful to know where you actually are and not fall into the trap that you just like get full unhappy and yeah, you're on like minus 0.1 happiness and you don't solve it, even though it would be so easy with such a little amount. So you have a little bit more knowledge about it. I think it's pretty important to have that, and yeah, maybe makes people also understand the happiness system of Northgard a little bit more, just seeing a little bit more. And now for a huge change. Trading routes changes. The amount of resources you can trade with the trading post depends on the number of merchants assigned to the trading post. Trade routes will cost more resources. With one merchant, you can trade 2 food, 2 wood, 0.1 stone, 0.1 iron for 1 crown. With 2 merchants, you can trade 4 of each or 0.2 of each for 2 crowns. With 3 merchants, you can trade 6 of each or 0.3 of each for 3 crowns. Relationship between players, ally and enemy no longer exist. Relationships will now only impact neutral factions for trade. So, pretty insignificant change. I don't think it's gonna change anything at all. It's just gonna keep everything. We're gonna go to the next one. Nah, obviously. It's a pretty huge change. The trading meta definitely should end like that. You can still trade with some clans pretty effectively. If you have merchants, you're oftentimes also gonna get coinage, and you think that, might as well trade. One of the problems, I would say, with it is only that sailors aren't competing still. Sailors aren't competing. Even though, you can just go down here, shipbuilding has changed. You now get 5% more bonus for sailors. But I think what the problem with that is that I heard that in duels, shipbuilding is a really, like ships in general, sailors, docks, however you want to call it, are really strong. In team games, not so much. Therefore, sailors still not really able to compete, excluding, of course, the ones for the Raven Clan, because they do so much different things. But also with the Raven Clan, I heard some players are actually going trading and doing some crazy shenanigans. But right now, I think trading still nice. Still nice to have if you're already trading, already have merchants running, but the focus is gonna go more and more onto merchants, and yeah, having strong merchants. Who's got the strongest merchants in the game again? Right down below in the comments. Mimias Brun. It now takes plus 20% time to unlock the lore. It just takes longer. I think that's fair. It's really strong. It went super fast. Plus 20%. Might as well have done it plus 50, to be honest. It's so strong. What I think, it should really be balanced between clans and team games. That if one clan has it, the other clan should get it too. And like the other team should get it too. And maybe even give them the same lures. Make it really as balanced as possible, because this can change games so hard. I know it can be fun, but maybe play random maps then if you want to play like balanced games. It can end up pretty unfair. I don't know. I don't want to take everything away what could make a game unique there, but hey, it's hella strong. It's hella strong. Just imagine playing Wolf and getting under pressure, or Snake and getting field rations. Building time changes. Brewery Hall of Scouts and Northgard only take 40 seconds to build, and Virulence Porch also takes 40. Remains unchanged. You built that quicker always? I thought that were also a minute. Well, now all is 40 seconds. Fairness is among the land again, and how we read before, already great. So it doesn't lead a lot of changes right there. Where do we were? Neutral creatures. So Jotun get 10 more HP. That's it. Can't really say you what the reason is. Maybe they were too easy to clear out. Like if you have 3 Jotun in a zone in a team game, I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference, honestly, but it changed. So there definitely were a reason for that. Maybe it's actually like super hard now to clear them out alone. Like a wolf could definitely do that alone. With 10 more HP, could get rough. We'll see in the game. Definitely got change, keep that in mind. Notification options. A new option allows fame and monetary path level to be notified by a simple notification in a more discreet way than usual. That's neat, that's neat. That's great. I think, yeah, word again. One out of the Shire team jumped into my stream and told me that this were possible. What? Alex? Where Alex the name? Let me check. Yeah, I think it were Alex. Pretty sure. Thanks a lot to Alex again for telling me that, because it annoyed the hell out of me. In some situations, it were so annoying that just the whole bum, bum, bum. You now got a new military path. Hoo-ha-ha. Make your choice now. And you're like, I'm in the middle of a battle, man. I'm in the middle. I need to micro. So now it's a little bit different. Also, new notification change. You're now gonna be notified for every freaking wolf attack your teammate gets. With the same horn if the wolf would attack you. Just slightly drives me crazy. You know me, like I'm a big fan of also getting spam pinged and stuff like that. So yeah, like the change that's written here, I really like. It's really cool. It just drives me crazy to hear the horn when I play Northgard, like every 30 seconds. Got attacked. Ah, yeah. I think you got what I mean. Conquest. Nerf of AI teams in Conquest. Were they so strong? I don't know. I always play Conquest on high, usually, because I like having fun, and extreme is just torture. It is torture, man. It's so hard. It's so hard. It's so slow. But I know why people would play that, like especially if you mostly play AI and not against real players. Like you want to get more and more of a challenge, and I can imagine why really hard, like extreme conquest could be appealing to people. I just like, you know me, man. I want to fight, man. I want to fight. Hey, let me fight. So I play high difficulty. Like I don't expect a extreme difficulty to go down in difficulty. That doesn't make any sense because people are clearly liking it. I'm just not the biggest fan for it personally, and that's a purely subjective thing. I just play it on high. Still have a lot of fun with the conquest. I think it's pretty cool. Villager tools. Increased villagers build and repair speed now increased by 50%. So it's gonna be one of the strongest tools in the game right now. I don't think so. Usually in the time where you upgrade stuff, and especially if you upgrade stuff that you don't really need. Maybe some clans can go for it. I just think about, like, for example, Snake could upgrade the skirmishers and then has 5 iron left because they don't need it for Signy. Maybe you go for villagers? I don't know. I don't really think so. I still think with farmers, woodcutters and everything, you're still gonna drive better because they're permanently gonna make resources for you. But I wanted to say first, if you do it with any other clan, it's gonna be like your second iron that you go for. When do you go for your second iron? As soon as you got everything else ready already. Like you already should have like 12 warband, a good amount of gold. And if you then go for a second iron just to, you know, why not? Just go for it. You're not gonna care too much about having villagers build a little bit quicker, usually. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's super strong. Maybe it's something you should rush for really quickly and then have the bonus throughout the whole game. But what my problem with it would be, like, most of the buildings are already built as soon as the villagers upgrade would come in, as the time would come where you would do it. Maybe I'm misreading that. 50% is significant. Maybe I'm stupid. Comments down below. Bear hitbox. Slightly lowered. So also think a little bit smaller too. So not such a big hitbox anymore for the bear. Definitely a few changes there because warriors will have a rougher time to stand around it. I think that's most of the change, right? Am I missing something of the smaller hitbox? I don't know. Comments down below. Thank you for all your support and all of the incredible feedback you've provided in the last few months that has contributed towards this update. Keep the feedback and suggestions coming, and we'll see you in Northgard. With love, Shiro Games. They didn't write it, but they meant it. Yeah. Conclusion for me for the update. There are a lot of changes, obviously, so I think it's still too early for me to make an exact conclusion and say, like, okay, this is like a, it's like a 9 out of 10, this is like an 8 out of 10. I don't know. Not somebody who would do that too much. anyway. But there are so many significant changes right here that I think it's definitely gonna shape up the meta. Gonna make playing multiplayer quite interesting in the next time, definitely. I think also in general, of course. I think it would change. It will change the meta. Yeah, it should change it for the better. Considering everything, I'm gonna lean myself out of the window and say it's gonna change the meta for the better. It's not even only rhyming. I think it's also true. You don't have only trading anymore, while trading isn't completely out of the game, even though for most clans it will be out of the game. But a lot of clans still can make something happen out of it, and you can still get merchants running for you. So even though sailors can't really compete still, upgraded merchants can still get a good amount of gold. You can still get then the trading route on it. You will have a lot of clans with a little bit less gold, and then the warriors are also a little bit more expensive. But honestly, coming with 12 army in 802 should usually be then just as good as having 18 warriors in 802 before the patch, because your opponents will also have a little bit less. I don't think it's all gonna super strongly slow down, also because of the super important change here that the villagers defense is now only 3 instead of 4. So mass villager defense is not gonna be as effective anymore as it were before. And even though I'm not 100%, like, I think a super early attack when your territories aren't too far apart from each other, like an 801 rush, should have a little bit less supply malice as you had before. I'm pretty sure it does. Maybe I'm wrong. Comments down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video. It was a super long ride here, like I'm talking for 1 hour now. Yeah. Hello to everyone who is still around here. If you came that far, you might want to leave a like down below the video. If you are actually new and came that far, congratulations first, man, you're insane. And you might want to leave a sub down below the channel. You can do so. Maybe also ring that little bell and you will not miss any other Northgard content on this channel. Regularly uploading build orders. Just realizing that a lot of the build order videos are obsolete now and I need to make them new. They are out for like a few months. Not too bad though. So there will definitely be new build order videos. There will be gameplay videos. All things Northgard, you know. If you enjoy that, might want to consider doing that for all who are subscribed already and yeah, having a good time here. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, you guys make this channel what it is basically. By the way, I have a little bit of a bug going on right now that I get all the notifications for comments that were written on my channel, but I can't see them. So I always got to go into the comment tab right now. That might end up in me overseeing a few comments, but I'm still gonna try to answer to as much as I can and just hope that not too many slipped through my fingers here, and I'm trying to get that problem fixed, of course. With that, hope to see you all back in the next video here. That's gonna be tomorrow or maybe even today. We'll see yeah, if I do a double upload today with a game of the actual new patch. Other than that, I will be streaming tomorrow on Twitch. Hope you all have a great rest of the evening and yeah, bye bye everyone. Have a great one. See ya.